1. The origin of the Sabbath. Genesis. After creating the heavens and the earth in 6 days, on the seventh day God finished his work which he had made, and he rested. God blessed the seventh day and made it holy. This is the first appearance of the meaning rest, being set apart, sanctified. It was not only for Israel, but from the very creation of the universe. 2. The command in the law of Moses. In the 10 Commandments, the fourth commandment teaches, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord your God. The foundation, because God created the world in 6 days and rested on the seventh. Deuteronomy emphasizes that the Sabbath is also a sign to remember that God delivered Israel from the bondage be. 3. Spiritual meaning and purpose. A covenant sign. The Sabbath was given as a sign between me and you, that you may know that I am the Lord who sanctifies you. Rest in the Lord. The Sabbath is not only ceasing from physical labor, but entering into spiritual rest, trusting God as the true source of provision. Social equality. Everyone was to rest, servants, foreigners, even animals. This was an early expression of social justice. 4. Practice in the Old Testament. The Israelites kept the Sabbath by ceasing from labor, not gathering wood, not engaging in trade. Violation of the Sabbath could be punished severely. The prophets repeatedly warned the people not to turn the Sabbath into empty ritual, but to connect it with righteousness and reverence for the Lord. 5. Jesus and the Sabbath. Jesus often taught and performed miracles on the Sabbath. He said, "The Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath." He affirmed the true meaning. The Sabbath was not a burden, but a blessing, a day for life, healing, and worship. He healed the sick and allowed his disciples to pick grain to eat, showing that the Sabbath does not prevent doing good. 6. In the New Testament church, the first believers, most of them Jews, still gathered on the Sabbath in the synagogues. However, after the resurrection of Jesus on the first day of the week, the disciples began to gather to break bread and worship on that day. This became the origin of the Lord's Day, regarded as the commemoration of the resurrection, not as an official replacement of the Old Testament Sabbath. 7. Theological depth. Hebrews speaks of a Sabbath rest for the people of God. This is a foreshadowing of eternal rest in Christ. Sabbath rest is not merely about days, but a symbol of soul rest, when we cease from relying on our own strength and put full trust in the Lord. 8. Debate and practice. Today, some denominations still keep the Sabbath, Saturday, in its original sense. Most traditional churches worship on Sunday, viewing it as the fulfillment and completion of the Sabbath in the resurrected Christ. All agree on the principle of the Sabbath, to set apart holy time for God, to rest, to worship, and to enter into spiritual rest. In summary, the Sabbath is an eternal sign of the Creator, the Deliverer, and the Sanctifier. In Christ, the full meaning of the Sabbath is revealed. Not only physical rest, but the rest of the soul in God's love, redemption, and eternal promise.